What's up everyone, welcome back to another Destiny 2 build video, or just build showcase I guess it would say. I wouldn't call it a build video because I don't recommend anyone follows me and acts like I know what I'm talking about half the time, but it's a build showcase. So we're going to come in with another Void build, Void Warlock again. This time it is going to be for our PVE Void Warlock, and this is going to be what I run. So as with last time, we'll jump right in to the subclass first. So everything is very similar with just a couple of small alterations from the PvP variant. So I pretty much always run Cataclysm in PvE. Nova Bomb can be, it's just not great. I'm going to be honest, it's just not great in PvE all the time. It can get in the way of like damage phases. It can get in the way of your linear shots and things like that. So yeah, it's just something that you want to bear in mind of how you use it and when you use it. I try and use it at the end of boss damage phases, like right before the boss will go to immune, if it's not a one phase, to make sure I don't cause any issues for any of the teammates or clanmates that I'm with in that. But we will get rid of me here and we'll jump right into it. So Healing Rift again, and we're going to run the Strafe Glide this time. It's just what I prefer. I like it. You can hover in the air a little bit longer, you can move around, kite behind things. It's just a little bit better if you want to like jump and throw things or shoot things and things like that. Pocket Singularity as it's the only choice, and then we are now on Scatter Grenades, which we'll get into a little bit in the video a bit more here. So then we're going to run Feed the Void and Child of the Old Gods again. This all ties into our exotic, why we don't run Chaos Accelerant, why we run Scatter Grenades and things like that. Previous video, or for anyone who doesn't know, obviously Feed the Void is just grants us Devour. So anytime you kill something with a melee any Void ability, you're going to get the Devour proc, and you can keep that rolling to help give you your grenade energy back and keep you topped up with health. Child of the Old Gods is a weaken effect, and it will attach to anything, so it's just nice to have a constant weaken. It lasts a long time, it has a massive AoE, and it's going to lifesteal. And if you are, when a target's being drained, you grant a grenade and melee energy if we're running the Healing Rift, and then if you want to run the Empowering Rift, you get health back. So I mean, I like running the Healing Rift mostly. I think it's just a bit more consistent, and the grenade and melee energy is always very nice to have a consistent way to farm that up. You can just hook this onto even an immune boss. You can hook this onto something that's immune and it will still farm it up for you. So it's nice to do in that higher end content. And then defeating a target that is being drained will also give you class ability energy, which is obviously the way we summon the Void Soul. So it's like everything just feeds into itself in this build. It's very much everything is here to feed into something else, and that's what you're going to see come through in this build quite often. Down to the aspects, all the same as before from our previous iteration of the PvP version, except that we've swapped out the longer lasting grenades for getting volatile rounds using our grenades, because it's the only way at the moment on Void Warlock to proc the validity of everything, so we can make everything volatile, make everything explode, and then feed into other areas of the build. So you can see the stats again, pretty cracked. That's just time played, armor farmed, all the fun stuff. So that just is what it is. But ideally, you want to go for your 100 resilience, even though they're going to nerf it eventually to 30%. It's still going to be the primary one, in my opinion. And then everything else is your preference. On Warlock, I don't really ever go over 50 mobility. And then everything else is just as you can see it. I was just able to get those stats. That's what I like. That's what I run, and that's just a personal thing. Doesn't have to matter for anyone else. We'll jump right into the weapons. I always run with a Horde pretty much. I mean, because linears are the thing at the moment, it's quite obvious that you're going to run linears 99% of the time for your damage. So it just means you have an open exotic slot, and with a Horde is just never a bad option to have. So that's what I run. This is the loadout I run 90% of the time, unless a GM or something calls for something different. Then we change it up. So the next big thing that ties this whole build together is the perk Repulsor Brace, and specifically on anything. There's so many weapons with Repulsor Brace now in like every type. So there's like scout rifles, submachine guns. I think there's heavy machine guns, there's auto rifles. So you can run almost whatever you want. But if you can get Repulsor Brace, and you have a way to consistently farm your grenades up using like Devour or some other ways that we do it, and you can keep Repulsor Brace up, it's just a permanent big boy overshield, and it's just really nice in all content, especially in harder content, and it's not super hard to maintain that overshield. So I've got an Unforgiven here, which is probably my favorite weapon that rolls with Repulsor Brace in everything up to like Grandmaster content. I don't have the role I want. Obviously, the best in slot role for this is Demolitionist and Repulsor Brace, just because it will just feed us our grenades, which will feed us volatile, which will give us a repulsor brace. So that is probably the most cracked role you can get. But there's plenty of other weapons with repulsor brace that will work just fine, and the build functions completely fine without demolitionist on any weapons, and so that's not something you need to worry about. So we'll jump into our exotic, which is Nothing Manacles. So Nothing Manacles is a really interesting one. I don't see it very often. I've seen a few builds here and there. People talk about it. I've run this ever since Nothing Manacles came out, and they did the 3.0 updates. So it literally does the scatter grenade version of Chaos Accelerant. So you're essentially with this exotic running all three aspects on Warlock with this specific build, because this does it does better than what Chaos Accelerant does for scatter grenades. You get an additional charge and it gives them tracking. So if we jump over real quick and look at Chaos Accelerant, you can see that for scatter grenades, the submunitions track nearby targets, and that's literally the exact same thing this does. So this is essentially just Chaos Accelerant with another grenade charge. So yeah, very, very strong, very good uptime on scatter grenades. The scatter grenades are a bit finicky to use at the start, but once you learn how they sort of like a fountain effect that they have, they can be very, very strong, and they do a lot of damage. I use them in high-end content, and they really bang. They're very underrated. Role overall, we're just running for mods wise, it varies from thing to thing. At the moment, obviously with the submachine gun, we're just running overload, and then tenacity because I had a space for it, and then submachine gun loader for that faster reload. You know, we want to keep those bullets flying as quick as we can to keep things volatile and keep things exploding, to keep proccing repulsor brace and devour. So that's the thing, repulsor brace and devour combined is very insane as well. So you're going to get that overshield, and then the health underneath that overshield is constantly being regenerated if you take big damage. Well of tenacity is really nice. That damage reduction applies to everything, overshields, health, and all that fun stuff. So for our helmet, we are just running I run elemental well / orbs of power mixed builds. So this is just grenades we're just throwing 24/7, so it's an easy way to proc and spawn elemental wells. We're going to be getting a lot of super energy off those grenade kills because we're throwing them so often. I'm going to create orbs of power with harmonic siphon. For our chest, we run basically powerful friends and radiant light on most things. Easy ways to become charged with light with nice stat boost. This is a artifice piece of armor, so we're able to put our energy resistance or our resistances on the outer piece there on the extra slot, so we can still run concussive dampener and sniper resilience just to help ward off some of those big shots in the harder content. And then just a stat mods on everything. There's your Radiant Light. We've got Absolution, so reduces all cooldowns with Orbs of Power, reduces melee cooldown with Orbs of Power. Obviously in your PVE content, you've just got orbs everywhere all the time, so you want to just be tossing your super so you can be constantly collecting those orbs. Unless you know you need your super for a specific moment, just toss that into champions, into anything, clear ads. Vortex isn't, the Nova Bomb just isn't gonna make or break a lot of things. Occasionally it will, but if you're relying on your Nova Bomb to be a make or break moment, it's probably not the best idea. So keep tossing that and just keep feeding into your general play style. And then on the Bond, at the moment, just with the artifact mods, we are running Breach and Clear. Weaken Clear. And the Kelvin's Basilisk, just for the easy overload, so we can run other things and still have an overload option. And that's, yeah, very nice. And it's a one slot available, so just create more elemental wells, because we're going to be tossing our super constantly to keep it down, to keep picking up orbs of power. So that's going to create elemental wells as well, and then those elemental wells are just going to give us back all of our ability energy because they're going to match our subclass, and that is going to be all fun. So that is going to be it for the PvE Warlock. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you do like the Destiny 2 content and you want to see more of it, and you want to see my other Warlock builds, I do have Titan and Hunter as well, but I don't play them as much, and I do have a few very specific builds for very specific reasons. If we need to do something like a 10x Thunder Crash combination or something, I do have those there as well, but we'll get to them a little bit later on. But yeah, if you do like it, please hit it with a comment, drop a like, hit the sub, ring the bell to stay updated, and I'll catch you in the next one.